Hello, Lisa Freed here, and I am back for lesson number 2 of our Sparkle Goddess sessions. So today, what I wanted to really quickly recap is what we went over in the PDF yesterday. During our last lesson, we talked about the 4 different types of reasons that our mind likes to churn out and generate as soon as we decide that we're going to start doing something new. You know, our brains are just so fantastic, right? So we'll quickly go over the 4 and then we'll get moving. So obstacles. Our mind likes to tell us every little bump and twist and turn in the road that might get in our way if we try something new. You know, the little things that might trip us up. The self-judgments, pointing out all the ways that we aren't up for the task. For example, I'm going to run a half marathon. I've just committed to it yesterday, and it just scares the bejesus out of me. Even though it's only 9 months away, my brain is already like, oh, we are so out of shape. Our knees aren't up for this. It's gonna hurt, like, you know, and it just really wants to go over all of those things. It likes to compare us, you know, all the ways we don't measure up, or to all the people that can seem to do it better, those that have more talent, that are gifted, or that even have it easier than us. Maybe they were born with the silver spoon in their mouth, you know, all of those. And also, our mind is amazing at predictions, you know, like the big doom and gloom ones, where the world is going to end, the sky is falling, we're all gonna die, those kinds. They're super fun, right? All those unpleasant outcomes. So because our brain is so amazing at this, we can often find ourselves sucked in to believing those lies. And I want to tell you, no, we are not going to do it. You are just simply not going to do it. This lesson is going to help you to unhook from those thoughts. So I am not, and I'm going to use this video and be able to come back to it. I'm going to say to you, I am not going to give up on my dream to run a half marathon. I can do it. Sure, I've only ever ran a 5K a few times, but this time I can do it. I have 9 months. I'm going to train for it. And here's how I'm going to learn to contradict all the thoughts that tell me that I'm too fat, too lazy, too slow, too old, too blah, 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 all the reasons why I can't do something, okay? So the first tool that we need to be able to put in our toolbox to make sure that we can have as a defense against thoughts like that, the comparisons, the self-judgments, the predictions, that type of thing, is awareness. We need to really be aware and notice when our mind is doing this, okay? And we need to make friends with a little word called workability, all right? So workability is a simple question, and is what we're doing right now working to help create a richer, fuller, more meaningful life? And if the answer is yes, then what we're doing right there is incredibly workable. And if the answer is no, then we really have to question, why are we doing that? So we need to determine the workability of something. So say we're having this thought, okay, I am too out of shape to run a marathon 9 months from now, okay? And if I just allowed myself to believe that I am going to be as out of shape as I am right here in this very moment, is that going to help me cross a finish line 9 months from now? No, right? Like it won't. It will totally interfere with it. In fact, it'll probably keep my ass parked on that couch right there, right? So I don't want that, and that is definitely showing to me that that thought has zero workability. So if the answer is no, and we recognize that the thought's not helpful, then this will reduce its influence on us. Like as soon as we start to question those, it automatically loses some of its power and some of its influence, okay? So here are a few tips and tricks that I have to help us to unhook or distance ourselves from our thoughts. And these tools can seem really awkward, funny, foolish, not worth the time or the energy, okay? And our mind will do everything it can to convince us that it's just not worth the time to even bother, okay? But like any good thing, we get much better at it with some practice, okay? So, exercise number 1 is I'm having that thought. I'm having the thought that. So I want you to bring to mind a thought that really hooks you, okay? So I'm going to use my half marathon example again, and mine are, why bother? I can't do it, okay? So that's my thought. And I'm going to silently say in my mind the thought that I'm going to believe it as much as I can. So why bother? I can't do it anyway. And when I say that and I take a breath in, I really notice it in my throat. My throat feels kind of gross. Yeah, it actually kind of makes me want to vomit and really brings down my energy, drags it right down. So when I think that thought and I'm really aware of it in my body, I'm going to now insert a phrase in front of it. And that phrase is, I'm having that thought, why bother? I can't do it anyway. And when I say that, it feels a little bit lighter in my throat here. It's not gone, but I notice like that the weight is a little bit lighter. So now the third step to this exercise is I'm noticing I'm having the thought that, why bother? I can't do it anyway. And even that is much lighter. And the reason why this exercise works is it creates these layers and it really moves that thought, distances that thought from us. And it gives us some breathing room. And it makes it seem like, oh, maybe it's not as truthful as it once was when I was like really hanging on to it. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. We're going to go through these steps one more time, and I promise I'm going to send a worksheet along too that you can use as crib notes. So think of a thought that really hooks you, one that really gets you and can change how it is that you are choosing to behave. Okay? Bring that to the forefront of your mind. Okay? You've got one? All right. Now, say that thought over in your mind. Add the pre-phrase, I'm having that thought that, I'm having the thought that XYZ. See where that lands in your body. See how that feels. And then move on to the third step, which is I'm noticing I'm having the thought that XYZ. And see how that feels. And practice it, okay? Because what really works with that is that it will help you to remove that thought or distance it. And it gives you space. And when we have that space, miracles can happen, okay? Now, there are 2 other variations to this exercise that I think are really fantastic, okay? I really hope you have earplugs. You can fast forward through part of this video because this one is singing. So you come up with the thought, okay? Why bother? I can't do it anyway. Okay, we're going to use that. Now, when that's really got you hooked and it's just running over and over in your mind, I want you, instead of like saying it in your mind, I want you to sing it. Why bother? I can't do it anyway. Okay. Does that thought seem ridiculous now? I bet you it does. As ridiculous as my singing. If that didn't quite work, try singing the thought to happy birthday. To the tune of happy birthday. I can't even do it. I try to play it out in my head and it just won't even work. So like, why bother? I can't do it anyway. Yeah, see, not even happy birthday. But see, now that thought isn't even anything that I can possibly take serious like that. Now, the third variation is to come up with a silly voice and repeat the thought in a silly voice. Whether it is I was going to say a British accent, but then I don't want to offend anyone that might be British here. But choose an accent, one that's different than your own, one that might make you giggle. Or use a Homer Simpson voice. Pee Wee Herman, doesn't matter, I don't care. Say that thought in that voice and notice that it just becomes so ridiculous. You wonder why you even believed it for 1 minute in the first place. All right? The fourth tip that you can use to try and distance your thoughts. This one is for more visual people. Okay, so I want you to envision a computer screen. You know when you have your screensaver and sometimes you can have like all these pretty little flowy words that come across the screen. So I want you to imagine that you've got your screensaver set up and it's all black. Your screen is all black and in white Times New Roman font size 12, you've wrote out your thoughts. So for mine, it's like, why bother? I can't do it anyway. And it's just like that. And then I want you to start manipulating that font. Change the words, keep the wording the same, but make the font like itty bitty bitty, and then really, really big, and stretch the words out, and imagine them going like super fast all over the screen, and slowing right down, and ones with shadow effects and all kinds of things. Add different colors, do whatever it is that you want, but picture your mind manipulating that thought. I have friends that are incredibly visual. They're beautifully talented artists. And they say that this one is the most helpful technique that I have ever taught them. For me, I'm not visual like that, so it doesn't work. You need to play around and see which ones work for you. Some of us, we need to be like really physical, very tactile when we do things like that. So for you, what I want you to imagine is that you've written those words on your hand, okay? On the palm of your hand. And then, so mine again, why bother? I can't do it anyway. And I want you to cover your eyes with it. And tell me what all you can see. Well, all you can see is those words, kind of. They're a little blurry, right? And then I want you to like physically pull your hand away from your face, giving you more room. You can see much more as you distance it. Like you're literally distancing yourself from that thought until finally you've moved your hand so far that it's out of sight. You get to decide which one works best for you, okay? And try them all on, okay? It's like when you go shopping, it's like you don't have to just buy one pair of pants or try one pair of pants on. You can try on many and decide which ones make your butt look better, okay? It's like that. Which tool helps me to make my thoughts feel better, all right? So I know that you're going to end up getting a little cheat sheet. It's going to go through all of these steps right after this video. Please reach out to me. If one's not working, you have some questions, reach out for me. I'm definitely here for you. And let me know which one works best and which one just didn't really work for you. Until you see me again next time, I wish you a day as beautiful as you. So much love. Bye for now.